Public access is provided by the City of Highland Park and made possible in part by Ravinia Festival, CJE Senior Life, GAN Music and Sound.
Good evening and welcome to Standby. I'm your host, Marie Conenna. Along with me this evening is drag racer extraordinaire, TJ Zizzo. So without further ado, please help me welcome TJ to the show. Well, welcome back, TJ.
Always a pleasure, Marie. I can't believe it's been a year already since we did this show last.
I know. It's been an exciting year for you though, right?
Always.
Good.
Anytime I get behind a 300-mile-an-hour race car, it is exciting. But off the racetrack, a lot has happened to me personally and also with the race team, which is wonderful things, and they're all positive things. First thing, at the end of last year, we were just about, we'll get the business out of the way, right? We were at the end of our contract with Peak, and it was really, really important to me to re-sign with them. And they really believed in what we were doing for them on and off the racetrack. Yeah. So we did that at the end of last year. We signed Peak now for 2 years with possibly a third-year extension. So we'll be doing this show for at least another 2 years and possibly the third as well. And we're growing by leaps and bounds. We have new team members on our team. But positively speaking, the 12 core members that we have on our race team are still with me. And remember, some of these guys have been with me for 20 years. 20 years of volunteering their time, taking time away from their family and all those things. And they're still with me today. That brings a lot of pride to me personally. So we signed Peak for another 3 years. We also, something really, really impressive, is that I now have an agency representing me, TJ Zizzo, and Zizzo Racing.
You're climbing up the ladder, TJ.
I can't believe it myself. I mean, I never thought in a million years I would have a name that was branded. Now we have trademarked TJ Zizzo. I have a logo, my own brand, all these things that are happening. Zizzo Racing as well, the same thing. We're really growing by leaps and bounds, and to have a full-service agency representing me and getting our name out there to the general public is really, really exciting.
Okay, so what other updates have you, any updates on your uniform, your cars, anything that's been going on since last?
Pretty much everything is new. We have a newer race car. It's not brand new to us, but it's been updated. We completely, over the wintertime, the whole team disassembled the race car, and we have new tubing and a new chassis. We put that all together over the wintertime to get ready to go to Gainesville. Yes, fire suits brand new, our uniforms are new, my helmet's new. I mean, down to our awning and our trailer is new. When we went to Gainesville, I had competitors coming up to me and telling me congratulations. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, why are you telling me congratulations? It's because when we pulled into that pit area and we set up our entire entourage of pit vehicles and semis and awnings and hospitality and all these things that we have worked on diligently all winter long, when we went to Gainesville, we looked like $1 million. We looked like we belonged with the best teams out there. And we are a great team. But remember, Marie, we're still a part-time team. I'm still trying to be able to do this full-time sometime real soon. I'm hoping by 2014. I think last time we spoke, I said 2013. Well, 2013 is right around the corner. Mm-hmm. So 2014 is coming, that's for sure.
It's only a couple years, you know. It's. Tell me, when you told me you dismantled the car, how long does it take to put it all back together again? You've got a part-time crew, so how long is that taking you? And what is the time frame that you need to have that done by?
Well, Peak, we signed our new contract with Peak January 1st. Our first event was March 8th. So that only gave us what would that be, approximately 60 days, 70 days to get everything apart together and all those things. We had really started the process in November. When we got done with our last event, we pulled out of Pomona, California, middle of November. We took the car back to the race shop and started working on it at that point. To give you hours, boy, we probably spent, as a team collectively, 3,000 to 4,000 hours preparing this race car to go to our next event in Gainesville, Florida in March. So countless hours. Now, keep in mind, you're right, we're volunteer. Every Tuesday night, we're at the shop. Every Sunday, all day Sunday, all of us are at the shop. But many of our team members put in many, many extra hours working on this race car, preparing for Gainesville. And it was a scary thing. We had never gone to an event having to do everything, race car, semi, pit vehicles, all these new items that we had, pull up in Gainesville and assemble them all and make sure everything's good and make sure we're ready to go. And we went out there and ran well and performed well and looked well. If my competitors are telling me congratulations, we've done our job, that's for sure.
Yeah, you actually do your job, because I remember when you were here last year, after the show, I did go to your race. It was so much fun. I was so happy you invited me. I had a blast. It was one of the hottest days of the year, and there you are. All you guys are out there, and your car was just so vivid. That blue is just beautiful, and you know, and you're concentrating, and you're out there. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. And when you said it was going to be loud, I didn't expect how loud it was going to get, but it was very thrilling. To just be there and to experience that, it was very exciting.
I'm so happy you were able to attend. That was a goal of mine. When I first did this show, I'm like, you really can't boast about the performance and the audibles that are coming out of these race cars. You can't do that until you actually attend it. So when you showed up, I was so happy that you were there so you could experience and have that energy that comes out of these race cars to bring to this next show, and here we are.
Yeah. 1 year later. Right. I know, I can't believe it. It's almost been a whole entire year.
But keep in mind, the next event, June 29th and 30th, July 1st, that weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, once again in Joliet, Route 66. I know you're going to be there.
I'll be there.
And you will certainly be excited as you were last time. And now this time when you come, you'll even have more appreciation because you saw it, you lived it, you felt it. Now you can come back and say, okay, I got this, and now you'll be learning things, which will be fantastic.
Yeah, you know what I love too, besides all the racing and all, it's the fans, the loyal fans. I mean, they're there, they know who everybody is. It's a ritual for them. They just know what to do, and they're sitting there, and they know what to expect. And I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I knew you, and you were telling me what to expect, but to actually see it. So you have a lot of loyal fans as well.
It's pretty amazing. Like you said, it was probably the hottest day last year. It was, and look at all the fans that were there. There were 20, 30,000 fans there, you know, all day long in the heat, but it's such an exciting sport to see all the fans, and especially Chicago for me. I mean, it's fantastic. It's my home base. You know, Joliet isn't too far from here, so I have to go through hundreds of tickets just for that event for my fans, let alone all the fans that show up from all over the country to attend this event too. So I'm looking forward to it again. Hopefully it'll be cooler, but you're right, it was 90 degrees, we were sweating, but it was great, and just the energy that drag racing brings. Remember, just like you found out, you know, you were special to me to be there. That was fantastic, but the average fan could also come into the pits and see these cars being worked on only 10 feet away. Which is really which really is neat about drag racing, because most sports, professional sports in which drag racing is, NHRA drag racing is, most professional sports, let's say you go to a Bears game. You get the opportunity, like I do, I get the opportunity to go to a Bears game, climb up 50 stories, you know, not 50, let's not exaggerate, 10 stories in the you know, up, you know, in the 50th row, and then watch the event from up there. But you don't get up close and personal. You can't go in the locker rooms.
Right.
Where when you go to a drag strip and you go to the drag race, you know, you're in the trenches with us. You're seeing these cars, you're seeing them worked on. You know, not only are you sitting in the stands watching the racing, which is exciting in itself, then after the racing is you know, commenced or other racers are on the racetrack, you could come into the pit area, grab a beverage, enjoy, walk around, see these cars, and like you said, they're beautiful. These cars are beautiful.
Yeah, they really are, because everybody seemed to know who you were and where you were located, because I'm walking around just bewildered, not knowing where to go, and I found you, and your car was there, and everybody else's, and it is the interaction that you have with your fans. I think they appreciate that, because as you said, there's no other sporting event that you can really do that with.
It's tough. Even NASCAR. NASCAR, is so popular nowadays. It's almost as popular as the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball. But the thing is, you don't get the opportunity like you do to go into a drag race to come down. I mean, NASCAR is great. You go up there and you hear the loud cars and you watch it from the stands, but to come to a drag race is absolutely spectacular. So let's make sure June 28th, 29th, and 30th, ultimately July 1st, that weekend. Come on down to Joliet. It's not that far from your viewers. What are we, maybe an hour and a half away?
Just about, yeah. I mean, it's fun. You make it an afternoon and an evening. You really do. It's a field trip. It's a lot of fun,
The kids, the families.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. It's all about that family atmosphere. You saw my children and my wife there last year. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's good stuff.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about racing?
Doing your show.
My show? Of course it is.
If I wasn't a professional drag racer, I wouldn't be on your show, would I?
No.
It truly, besides doing your show.
I get you on for something else or something.
Yeah, right, my body work, right? Right, and not my body work, not this fine physique. I mean actually working on cars at our family-owned body shop, our auto repair facility.
But you know what? But you do. You have an auto body facility also. Correct?
That's correct. Absolutely. That's what pays my mortgage. There's no doubt about it.
There you go. And there was a lot going on for you last year. You had a lot of interviews that you did. You were really in the news.
For sure. It was fantastic. I mean, anytime, you're able to I find myself being almost a local celebrity. Actually, I'm going to give myself credit. I am a local celebrity.
Yeah.
I went out and pitched for the Chicago White Sox. I threw out their first pitch last year.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, these are all exciting things. Opportunities, that's what I like most about my job. Being a professional race car driver is fantastic, but I get opportunities to do so many different things.
Yeah.
From throwing out the first pitch to going to hospitals and making kids smile. Sure, I would like to say it's the adrenaline. It's the adrenaline I get driving a race car. Sure, there's no better high in the world than climbing behind an 8,000 horsepower race car and going 0 to 320 miles an hour in less than 4 seconds. There is no doubt about it. That's the ultimate high. That is why I do this. But it's all the other little opportunities I get along the way to make people smile, hang out with fans. All those things are really important.
Yeah, you do give back. You do give back. You do a lot of charity work, and we have some pictures as well. Tell us about some of the charity work that you do.
We've done a lot this year. MySix, our agency, has said, TJ, they're right there. You're looking at some video there, or a picture there. We were in Texas, and I had the opportunity, which was amazing, to go up to the Texas Children's Hospital to visit all these youngsters with cancer. And let me tell you, they were certainly more inspiration to me than I will ever be to them. It was absolutely amazing, just the smiles on these kids and seeing the parents in there. They're getting chemo, all these negatives that cancer can be. These kids were playing, Xbox and having a good time and smiling and eating and all these things. So that, to me, was really important. And we did that just a couple months ago. Heroes for Children was the charity and I donated a laptop to a 14-year-old child, a young adolescent, young adult, that she could now, with that laptop, she could communicate with her friends via Facebook and all those things. And it was amazing. And I went in there, as a representative of Heroes for Children, I went in there not talking about the cancer, not talking about the negatives, but just being myself and having a good time, making them laugh, and it brought a tear to my eye. Their milestones, Marie, their milestones are not simply walking, talking. Their milestones were their birth dates.
Right.
And that goes to show you, Marie, you and I are doing fantastic. Everything is wonderful. as much as some of us on occasion will be, driving along and mad because somebody cut us off, big deal.
Yeah.
All those things are so small.
Right, it is. But we don't realize that until we see what everybody else goes through.
That's absolutely correct.
But you know what? Those kids really appreciate it, and they've got something to aspire to. They've got some hope to hang on to when you walk in.
Well, thank you.
So
That's a big compliment.
Yeah, but it's true. I've been there, done that, so I understand. We have some more pictures. We have you and a kitty.
Another charitable event we did. There's our shop cat. That shop cat gets more PR than I will ever get. It's amazing.
Getting upstaged by a cat?
Absolutely. The first question I get at the racetrack, Marie, is, wow, where's the cat? Where's the cat? Because we have a picture of the cat along with our whole team. Well, once again, with that cat brought me to the Humane Society Awards, the Genesis Awards. There's my wife and I.
Mrs. TJ?
It was fantastic. Where would I get the opportunity to walk a red carpet? We're in Beverly Hills at the Beverly Hills Hilton. I went shopping for a suit. Trust me, Marie, I don't own a suit. So it was fantastic. My wife went shopping for a beautiful dress. It was wonderful. Once again, the Humane Society, doing charitable things, walking red carpets. I would not get that opportunity if it weren't for me driving a race car and doing great things with our marketing partners. Our marketing agency, has set up so many things for me to do. And there's so many things that we're going to be doing throughout the rest of the year. And the great thing is, that's giving TJ Zizzo and Zizzo Racing publicity outside of the drag racing world. Because, let's face it, NHRA drag racing is not the NFL.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if I could do things outside of our sport to really prove my personality and how crazy I am, because trust me, I'm not exactly normal. I'm excited about life in general. And if I could boast this and the average person could see this, that will bode well for me acquiring marketing partners as we go along.
Yeah, you have high energy. You're not crazy. You're enthusiastic about what you do. And you know what? You're not the type to sit behind a desk, and it's perfect for what you do.
That is absolutely correct. Thank you very much.
And here we have your new suit.
Look at that. Am I a good-looking guy or what?
There you go. You got your hero pose there. There you go.
That's correct. That is the shot. We had a professional photographer come out to the racetrack. I am standing on top of our semi in Gainesville, Florida there. And trust me, I'm afraid of heights. So he's like, hey, can you get up on your semi? And we started, he wanted me to jump around. He wanted me to do all this stuff. He wanted to capture the sky in the background. What he does is he does a lot of drag racing photos. So he kind of knew what would really show me well, and there I am up on top of my trailer.
That's unbelievable. Now, is that the same suit that we have here?
That's exactly correct.
Oh, very cool.
Absolutely, and this is, once again, it's a brand new suit for the year. Put it this way, Marie, it was so awesome for me to go out and be able to get a new fire suit, a new helmet, new safety equipment, because it's crazy. I climb in that 8,000 horsepower car, but one of the last things that I generally think of is my safety, because when I climb in that car, that's my office. That's where I feel comfortable. That's where I think I excel and do a good job. And I don't look at all the negatives to what could take place. But when I got some new equipment, new fire suit, new helmet, it's a carbon fiber helmet in which that cost $3,000. My last helmet cost me $300.
Oh, wow.
So there's things that I'm really starting to think about. And as my kids get older, as I get older, I just think that you start thinking about those things a little bit more and thinking about the safety. But how cool is it that I could climb into that race car and feel that it's prepared so well, and our team has prepared it so well that I don't have to worry about it. I feel like I could go out there in my underwear and drive the car.
And you'd be safe with a $3,000 helmet.
Right.
That's a beautiful helmet.
Well, thank you very much. It's really neat. And once again, my branding goes on top, to see TJ Zizzo and my logo. We have in-car cameras now. We have all these things in this race car. It's so neat to see on ESPN2 and to see, an in-car camera staring at me and showing all my actions in the race car while I'm going down the racetrack, and showing another view of behind the race car. These are all things that Peak has said, all right, TJ, we're gonna put our faith in you. We're gonna put all our marbles, all of our money into you, and so you could market our program and our motor oil and our antifreeze. And it gives me the chills talking about it. It's so amazing.
Well, they believe in you, otherwise they wouldn't have done it.
That's exactly
Well,
correct.
that's exciting. So where do the cameras go? Are they on the car?
They're mounted on the car. There is one that stares right at me. It's mounted right on the car. And I thought, TJ, is that going to be a distraction to you? As they're mounting this camera in this race car, it's a small camera.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even know it's there. The amazing thing is, once I climb into that race car, I'm in a zone like no other. I don't know if there's a camera. I don't know if there's people. I don't know anything. I am there to do my job and do a good job on that racetrack and be as fast as I can be. So little things like that don't even faze me, and I didn't even know that it was there.
Yeah, because I was going to say, once you're in there, you're just so focused on the road that it probably doesn't even faze you.
That's exactly correct.
Very cool. I think we have one more picture.
Oh, cool.
Do we have one more picture, Director Jay? No pictures, no more pictures. Okay. So now you brought a little prop for us. Your tire.
A little prop.
A little prop that you brought.
I figure this. Every time I come to your show, I bring something. I think by the time, 30 years from now, when we're still doing this show together,
That's right.
we will have brought in every piece of that race car. I figure...
Piece by piece,
Right.
you'll be bringing it in.
Right, and maybe we'll just assemble it right here in this
That's
studio.
right. If we keep it behind the curtain, we'll eventually put it together here. Because everybody wants to see the car in person. So you have to come to the race. You have to come to the race.
That's exactly correct. So I brought a tire this time. I figure for your viewer, that's something that everyone recognizes. Everyone recognizes a tire. This tire behind me is round, correct? Every tire is round. Going down that racetrack, it is square. There is so much downforce on that tire going down the racetrack, it is squared off in the front of this tire. It's amazing on how malleable these tires are going down that racetrack. They're only filled with 6 pounds of air, where your average vehicle is filled with about 35 pounds of air. And this is very critical to apply that 8,000 horsepower to that racetrack. Sometimes they don't get the grip you want, so they will actually spin the tire or smoke the tires. But this is a Goodyear tire. They cost us about $1,700 a pair. Wow. Keep in mind, we may only get 1,000 feet out of those tires, out of that pair of tires, which is amazing.
So you have to change the tires every time you race?
Almost every time, depending on how much traction we get, the track surface, all those things come in. But yes, that's exactly correct. So you're looking at $1,700 just for a set of tires almost every single run. I would say on average, I budget for about 2 to 3 runs a set of tires. But that's throughout the season, that's maybe what we'll get.
Unbelievable. And how many times have you used this? I mean,
That particular one was used once. It was used once in Gainesville, and we have set it aside for a prop for your show.
There you go.
Yep.
Prop for my show. Well, I mean, there's an actual smoke that comes out of the tires. You guys are going that fast.
Absolutely.
When I saw that, really, I mean, you see it on TV, but when you're seeing it in person, the effect on you, you're just going, oh my gosh, it's just unbelievable.
It rattles your body.
Yes, it does.
People don't understand it. TV can never do this sport justice, never. But when you are there and you're living it and you're feeling it, you're breathing it, these tires go through a lot of abuse. And the amazing thing is, our bodies, drivers' bodies, are going through abuse. There's just, it's such an amazing sport. And thankfully, I get to drive it, which is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. Now, you said it takes a lot of abuse. Do you get sick in the car at all anytime? I mean, do you get overheated? Do you eat before the race?
Boy, there's a lot of superstitions going on there. First of all, usually before I race, I usually just have a piece of fruit, something light. If I'm going to have, maybe try to get a sandwich, I probably won't eat the bread. I'll just have a little bit of meat.
Yeah.
Last year in Pomona, end of last year, I climbed in that race car, and before I even got into the race car itself, by the time I got suited up and walked to the race car, I was exhausted. I'll tell you, I felt like I really needed to get in better shape. I figure the better shape I'm in, the faster my reflexes will be, the better I will do, the better I will perform, all those things. So I took it upon myself last November when we left Pomona to try to lose 20 pounds. Because, first of all, 20 pounds is good for me to lose. Secondly, the race car, to lose 20 pounds, it will automatically be faster and quicker just because it's lighter. Mm-hmm. So I try to really be conscious over the winter time to eat properly. Now, let's face it, I love to eat. I'm Italian. I love to eat. So what I do is I just have usually like a cup of coffee in the morning, get me going in the morning, maybe a Nutri-Grain bar. Then I have some soup and some whole grain crackers for lunch, and I still have a decent dinner, you know? But it was my way of trying to show the team that, hey, I'm trying to do my part too, to do the best job I can for you guys, because they put 400, 500, 600 hours per run into this race car, and I get to wreck it for them in 3.5 seconds. Really,
right.
you know? So another thing I've really been conscious of this year, besides my health, is my reaction time. My crew chief set me aside last year and said, if you could do a better job for me, it would make my job easier, because then I don't have to push the limits of the race car. So what I did is I have practiced inside that race car this year. What I did is I set up a Christmas tree, what I call a Christmas tree. I mean, to your viewers, I'm going to say a Christmas tree. It is the countdown to time. Like, for example, I would pre-stage and stage the race car, and then a flash of ambers go on before the green. So I have set myself up that in our race shop, and I practice. I sit in my race car, and I go through all the motions I would normally go through on a run, and try to get my reaction time the best I can with the throttle pedal. It's helped out tremendously. I went to our last race, and I'm like, man, I felt real slow up there. It was better reaction time than I've had in years. So I'm really trying to do a good job for my team and do the best I can physically, mentally, and and try to drum up some more cash to do this. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean, but you're where you need to be though right now, right? And everyone can always do better, but right now you're where you need to be. And you've been racing for a while now, haven't you?
I've been driving for 20 years.
20 years.
20 years is a long time. I've been involved in the sport since I was 5 years old, so 32 years now I've been involved in the sport. Growing up at the racetrack with my mom and my dad and all those things, locally and nationally. And to get this opportunity to do this is pretty amazing. So am I at the pinnacle of my career? Sure, I am driving a top fuel dragster. That is the king of the sport. It's the best out there for NHRA championship drag racing. It is the fastest, the quickest accelerating vehicle on earth. So I am at the pinnacle of doing what I can do in my sport of drag racing. The thing is, I always want to do best. I always want to do my best. I'm doing more. I'm aiming higher because I'm still part-time. So the ultimate goal is, when I'm at the pinnacle of my career, is when I'm winning championships. I have maybe multiple cars, multiple teammates, built a very successful business around drag racing. I think that's some years off, but I think that's when I'm going to call myself at the top of my career, when I'm winning championships, doing this professionally, and doing this full time.
But you are doing it professionally, though.
You're right. You're correct. I mean, I don't give myself enough credit sometimes. You're right. I am doing it professionally.
You are doing it. I mean, you run the race. You do it pretty much full time. It's all year round, isn't it?
Right. When you watch us on ESPN2, you have no idea that we're a part-time team, because we go out there and look just as professional as the other teams, as any team, if not more professional than the full-time teams.
A full-time team would mean what? More races?
That's correct. That's exactly what it would be. It would just be more events. But that's the goal, and that's what we're going to do.
Okay. Well, before we go, anything else that you want to say?
You could always reach me at ZizzoRacing.com. We got a beautiful new website. Facebook, Twitter, you could find me. TJ Zizzo, Google me, find me. You could find me anywhere, anytime.
And you can always watch the show. Always watch the show. Okay, and then your dates for the race, again, are?
Will be June 29th, 30th, July 1st weekend. So come on out to the racetrack in Joliet, enjoy. And if you've never been, you should go.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a lot of fun. Everybody enjoys it. Everyone has a good time. TJ, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have you.
And it goes by too quickly, this show.
It does. It does. So that means you'll have to come on again.
I would love to. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, and good luck on the show.
Thank you.
Good luck on the race.
That's for sure.
All right. Once again, I'd like to thank my wonderful guest, TJ Zizzo, for being on with us again. My wonderful crew. Thank you guys so much. I couldn't have done it without you. But most of all, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time on Standby. Good night.